I had a consultation with one of my students, and this is a student that was basically just starting their credit repair business slash funding business. And they were just asking me, like, how do I deal with the lack of support of those around you? And they were just talking about the fact that they're talking to their family, they're talking to their friends. They would make a couple posts and they weren't receiving any support. And I just wanted to come out here and make the video because I think this will help some of y'all out there as well. And the message really is to increase your efforts and decrease your excuses, right? So the student came on the call, was basically giving me excuses. Like, my family's not supporting me, my friends are not supporting me, I'm posting content. They didn't post hella YouTube videos like I always recommend people do. So this is why I'm saying that this is just a universal message. You gotta increase your efforts and then decrease your excuses. Now, I ain't saying that you can't complain, because I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm a supporter of complaining. Like, I like complaining, but at the end of the day, you gotta remember the end result of what's gonna happen is you're still gonna be in the same situation, right? So I'm all for supporting like a good complaint session, complain and get through it. Sometimes I'll be going through my workouts. One thing about me, I'm gonna complete the workout. I might complain. I might, say, why am I doing this, but I'm gonna finish it, right? So I say that to say, while you're complaining, if you want to, you gotta increase your efforts, decrease your damn excuses. Nobody cares. This is what I told my student. When you're starting a business, everyone has their own thing going on. It doesn't even necessarily mean that they're intentionally not supporting you. And I was basically telling him, as far as my mindset, when I started my business, like, y'all gotta realize I come from a African background, Nigerian background, right? So the whole thing, you're supposed to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, you know what I'm saying? So those of y'all that know, So I did do the engineering route, but at the end of the day, I'm not supposed to be where I'm at right now as far as doing this credit business, this funding business, impacting lives, posting content and all that. That's like foreign to the culture, right? So I understood that going into it, and I understand too going into it that I'm like different from my family, my friends and all that, right? You got to have different people for different situations. And a lot of times if you're starting a business, that's not necessarily, unless you're in the right environment, that's not necessarily something that everyone around you is going to be doing. That's why it's important to change your environment, get around those like-minded individuals. So when I started my business, when I started CAT in 2021, I was already in an environment of people that were on the same wavelength as me, right? So that's what I was telling the student. I was telling the student they're good in a sense because they're already in our university, the CAT Credit University, our monthly university. But at the end of the day, you just got to get out of it in terms of having that entitlement. Like, people are just supposed to support you, right? People don't have to support you. And I understand too, within my business, my family, friends, they're not necessarily my target audience. So you've got to have that detachment and get rid of that entitlement and those excuses and just increase your efforts. I'm asking them, how many pieces of content did you post? In 1 week, I posted 3. That's not enough, right? In the 10X rule, Grant Cardone talks about 10Xing your efforts, right? So increase your efforts, meaning if you're posting 3 pieces of content in a week, 10X that, 30, do 30, right? And then you're not even gonna have to worry about, oh, my friends aren't supporting me, my family isn't supporting me. Why is nobody buying? Why is nobody doing this? If you look at our channel, we're literally posting 7 days a week, right? And I'm not saying that you have to do that. We also run ads. So it's like, technically we're always on. You always got to be in people's faces, all right? But the main thing I want y'all to really take away, if you just somebody right now, you walking around with like excuses, you can complain. I'm not saying don't complain, but increase your efforts, increase the inputs, and then that's going to increase the outputs. All of this is a numbers game. If you're only reaching out to like 20 people a day, 10X it. Reach out to 200 people, right? And one thing that really helped me along my journey, and I think it'll help y'all too, you want to pretend that your kids are watching you. So pretend like, if you don't have kids, pretend that your unborn kids are watching. That's going to really put it into perspective. Well, it should put it into perspective, because you got to think about it like, I'm over here, I'm doing this. Oh, why doesn't my people support me? Why doesn't this happen? Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? Your kids is looking at you like disgusted. Like, damn, if my dad, if my mom, was making no excuses, got to the next level, we would have been living a better life. How come my mom, my dad not making no excuses like how Michael's doing? How come they not, increasing their effort? How come they not decreasing their excuses? So that's the name of the game. Increase your efforts. Increase your efforts. You might not be doing enough. I know it's a harsh reality, but you might not be doing enough. And it's going to get to the point, like when you get rich, when you get to where you want to get to, you're going to have people that say, like, oh, you got lucky. But they don't know you was looking at 20 pieces of reaching out, and then you 10x it to 200. So it's going to get to that point. Once you do what you're supposed to do, you increase those efforts, you decrease those excuses, you're going to get the result. And once you start hearing, oh, you got lucky, and once you start hearing excuses from other people, that's when you know you did what you were supposed to do. That's when you can sit back like, okay, I did what I needed to do. I'm satisfied with what I did, right? So focus on increasing those efforts. A lot of times we talk about IQ, right? People's intelligence quotient. Sometimes we talk about EQ, no, emotional, but we really need to talk about AQ. If you don't know what that is, that's adversity quotient. How do you react to those hard times? How do you react to those failures? How do you react when your family not supporting you? How do you react when business not going as usual? How do you react to that failure? You could be three things. You could be a quitter, you could be a camper, or you could be a climber. We're basically trying to get to the top of that mountain. How do you get to the top? You keep going, but think about it. If we're trying to climb to the top of something, if we're taking 20 steps, imagine the difference if we're taking 200 steps. You 10x it. I think y'all are kind of seeing what I'm saying about increasing your efforts, because you're just getting closer. You want to chase that failure, quote unquote, because it's what's going to help you get closer to the top. When I say you could be three things, you could be a quitter, camper, or climber. Quitters, they quit. I don't even want to waste time talking about them. Quitters have that poor mentality, passing over opportunities repeatedly. Quitters just make excuses. Excuses, complain, all that. Now, I say you can complain, but you got to also do the work. Quitters, they don't do the work. They just quit. They're like, oh, how come my family don't support me? Oh, I tried to do a business. I tried to start a business, and now that's it. You might fail at your business the first time. You know how many failed businesses I had until I got to my credit business? I had hella failed businesses, right? So sometimes you need to fail in order to get to that success. And that's what it is. So quitters, they quit. Forget about them. Campers are very, very dangerous. It's a very, very dangerous transition point of being a camper, because you're on the verge of quitting, but you're also on the verge of climbing, right? So they're in the middle. You might be a camper. 99% of people are typically campers. Well, I'll say 99% of people are quitters. They could be quitters, considered quitters. But campers is very, very dangerous, because you're on the verge of giving up, but you're also on the verge of climbing. The campers are observing the people that are climbing. They're getting that inspiration, right? They're observing the people like me that's did it and was able to do the funding business, was able to do the credit business, was able to leave the 9-to-5, was able to hit their goals and all of that, right? But you can literally be there too. You just need to keep going and stop making these damn excuses. There's never a perfect time. Right now is not a good time. There's never a perfect time. You should be thankful that you even have time to be able to be in a position to go ahead and make that effort, right? So there's no perfect time. No such thing as a perfect time. And then obviously climbers, they climb to the top of that mountain. So they just keep going. They keep going and they keep going. So I just wanted to come on here and just kind of give y'all a word to start your week, or, whenever you're seeing this. We're going to drop this on Monday. Monday mindset, motivation, whatever you want to call it, inspiration. And I need y'all to realize, like, increase those damn efforts, decrease your excuses. You can complain though. I didn't say you can't complain, right? I like my little dose of complaining here and there. I need that sometimes, and you might need it too. So with that being said, if y'all like the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you want to join our university, if you're just like my student, you're an aspiring credit repair business owner / funding business owner, $39 a month. I don't know what else to tell y'all. If y'all seen my results as far as my students, you know that price is crazy to be able to get around me and my resources. With that being said, y'all have a blessed one. Links will be in the description.